What's happening, everybody? I appreciate you checking in. All right, let's talk a little bit about the most recent head coaching news that's been going down this week. This is Tuesday, January 14th, and so that's when I'm dropping this video. But yesterday, there was news that we interviewed Pete Carroll as well as Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. And so I'm going to kind of give you my take on that a little bit. We also have some GM news, and so we'll talk about that real briefly. I won't dive too much into it because I'm probably going to save that for the live that I'm going to do Wednesday, January 15th. And so look out for that. But I'll probably dive more into the head coaches as well as the GMs during that live, just so I can kind of chop it up with you guys and get your opinion. But more importantly, one of the things I want to touch on in this video, the main point I want to touch on this video is Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys have parted ways. And with that move, I think there's a chance that that could help us in landing Ben Johnson. I definitely want to touch on that, and so we're going to definitely hit that topic. But before I get into it, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe. Appreciate everybody checking. Make sure you check in, just hit that like button. It definitely helps me out. But last week, I did announce a surprise giveaway. We ended the season. I kind of want to just kind of end it on a good note, at least on this channel, and it did announce a giveaway winner. But unfortunately, that winner never emailed me back, so I got to announce a new one. And so the new winner of the last giveaway, it's my 7th giveaway since starting this channel early last season, Darth Vader M4, man. You are the winner of that giveaway. If you can, email me at realraider805@gmail.com. Email me, and then I can give you the directions on how to redeem that giveaway. I also replied to your comment in the video that I announced the giveaway. And so again, just a way of showing my appreciation and just saying thank you for all the support up to this point. So again, Darth Vader M4. Make sure you email me back at realraider805@gmail.com so I can give you the instructions on how to redeem that giveaway. And guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. I'm still doing my giveaway at 4,500 subscribers. So as soon as I hit that, I'm going to do my next giveaway. So again, just appreciate you guys. Yesterday, there was news that we interviewed Pete Carroll as well as Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. You know, with my initial reactions, I think Vance Joseph, as much as he has really good history, right? A very good defensive coordinator, well-respected defensive coordinator in the league. I also think that there's a really good chance that we're just trying to do some intel. I think we're trying to pull as much information as we can on some of our divisional opponents. And so I think it's just a very smart move because in my opinion, I think Vance Joseph, if I could rank him on the head coaches that were potentially, or at least it's been reported that we're interested in, man, I'd probably rank him in maybe at my 6th or 7th choice as it stands now with the names that are currently in the pot. And so again, I think that there's between Vance Joseph, maybe even Steve Spagnuolo, those type of guys, they're divisional opponents. And so I think that there's a really good chance you're just trying to get some intel, you know, again, which is really smart. And so that's what I think it potentially is. I don't know if it's necessarily a Rooney Rule type of interview because we've already interviewed Aaron Glenn. We've already interviewed Robert Saleh. And so, again, I don't put this in the Rooney Rule category. I think it's us just trying to get some intel. So I think that's what it is as it relates to Vance Joseph. And then you got Pete Carroll. There's been reports that Pete Carroll, if we don't land Ben Johnson, Pete Carroll has now moved himself up in the coaches that Tom Brady and Mark Davis are really willing to bring in as the next head coach. And so I think Pete Carroll, if we don't land Ben Johnson, he's going to be high on that list to watch out for, and rightfully so, right? I understand a lot of people are saying his age is concerned, and that's my concern without question. But if you're going to get somebody in that's going to completely change this culture, then he's definitely a guy that you want to keep your eye on. Again, I'm not saying I want him. I'm not saying that he would be my ideal guy. I think I probably have him, I want to say about 4th on the list of guys that I would want to bring in. And so, again, I'll dive more into that during the live tomorrow night. So make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you do know when I go live. But that's just some of the biggest topics when it comes to the head coaching news. You got Vance Joseph and Pete Carroll interviewing on Monday. Now we got some GM news. You know, we got John Spytek, the assistant general manager over at the Bucs. He's coming in, which not a big surprise. I think he marries well with maybe a potential head coach, which is Liam Cohen. But at the same time, he's got that relationship with Tom Brady, right? Former teammates in Michigan, I believe. And obviously Tom Brady played for the Bucs and has still been real connected with that Bucs organization, hanging around the building a little bit, as well as those players. And so I think he's around that organization enough to where he knows Spytek very well, and that connection's already there. So not surprising. But then we're also going to bring in John Sullivan, the VP of personnel for the Green Bay Packers. I think we've requested to interview him, so we'll see if he accepts that. And so again, two names to kind of throw in that GM bucket. We're now starting to talk about GMs. There's a lot of head coaching talk going on, and now the GMs are starting to the GM news is starting to kind of squeeze its way in there. So we're going to kind of see how this plays out. But again, I'll kind of dive into more detail later on during my live on Wednesday. But the main thing I want to talk about is earlier this week, it was reported that news dropped that Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys are going to part ways, right? They couldn't come to contract terms. And now Mike McCarthy is out on the open market. He's looking for his next job and is most likely going to be a head coaching job. And there's open vacancies, right? There's a couple teams that he could go to and have an immediate impact. And my question is where Mike McCarthy ends up, does that affect our ability to potentially land Ben Johnson? I kind of want to break this thing down a little bit and get your guys' opinion. So as it stands right now, I think Ben Johnson has only interviewed with 3 teams. He's interviewed with us, he's interviewed with the Bears, as well as the Jags. Obviously, Ben Johnson is the hot commodity. This is the guy that we are going to go after. And the teams that I think Mike McCarthy might fit best with is one, the Chicago Bears, right? The Chicago Bears, they have a young rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams that they can build off of, that he can build off of. And then they have a lot of talent that surrounds Caleb Williams. And so Mike McCarthy can go in and take that job. He's very familiar with the Bears because obviously with his days within Green Bay, he's familiar with that organization, just how it works. And he's going to have a crack at being able to kind of face his former team. But he can go in and have an immediate impact. And I think because of just the way that the breakup of the Cowboys and kind of some of the talks that have been going on between him and the Cowboys, and really, was it Mike McCarthy that was the problem, or was it Jerry Jones just being Jerry Jones and doing his thing and just overtaking the situation? Is this Mike McCarthy's opportunity to go in with a roster that already has talent and really hit the ground running and prove that he could be a good head coach again in this league? Because look, even though he didn't do extremely well with the Dallas Cowboys, it was a very tough go for him, right? He started with the Cowboys and then COVID hit. He had 2 seasons where Dak Prescott got hurt. But let's be honest, those last 3-4 games that the Cowboys had with Cooper Rush, he did a pretty good job of allowing them or keeping them competitive in games. And so I think Mike McCarthy still can be a good head coach. Remains to be seen if he could be a good enough head coach to win a Super Bowl, but he definitely has the potential to take you to the playoffs. And I do think that if that interview that Ben Johnson had with the Bears didn't go very well, which there's some reports that said that it just, again, I don't know how true the reports are, but it said that interviews just didn't go as well as they would have liked them to go, or Ben Johnson walked away from that interview, maybe not having the best impression of Chicago, which isn't surprising. Chicago might move forward, and if they know they're out on the Ben Johnson sweepstakes, they might pull the trigger before maybe the Jags can. Right now, you want to pull the trigger and get in front of some of these other teams if you think Mike McCarthy is the guy. If Mike McCarthy takes that Bears job, that's just another team out of the running for Ben Johnson to choose from. And then again, he's only interviewed with the Jags. Now, depending on how far the Lions go, they could win. They can go to the Super Bowl. They could win the Super Bowl. Ben Johnson still has the opportunity to interview with other teams. All right. And so I'm not saying that these are the only teams that can potentially go after Ben Johnson or has Ben Johnson's interest, right? He can still interview with teams after the Super Bowl or after he's done with this playoff run or Super Bowl. But if Mike McCarthy does get picked up in this next week or so, there's a really good chance that it increases the chances that we could land Ben Johnson, because there haven't been very reports that the Saints or the Jets, some of these other teams that are looking for head coaches, have been on the Ben Johnson train. I thought the biggest organization that had the most threat to us was the Patriots, and they went ahead and hired Mike Vrabel. And so with the Patriots out of it, I do think if we all of a sudden hear that some of these teams pull the trigger and hire Mike McCarthy again, whether it be the Bears or the Jags, and now they are out of the running, I mean, that just increases our chances that Ben Johnson could come our way. And that's extremely exciting because, again, no matter if you like Ben Johnson or not, he is the top, he is the hot commodity, and it's been reported up and down by everybody that's associated to the NFL that Ben Johnson is our top prospect, our number one prospect, and we've gutted this thing. And so we have to swing for the fences. Tom Brady now has to prove that this quote unquote Tom Brady effect is real. So you better get him in the building and you better make this thing work. And so this is just my take. I mean, as soon as I heard that Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys parted ways, I started to think about, man, I think there's a good chance Mike McCarthy could find that Bears job or even that Jags job, potentially a good pairing for him. Like I said about the Bears, both Jags and Bears have good quarterbacks and some good offensive weapons to build around. And he might want to be able to prove himself, get into a spot that he can prove that he is a good coach. And maybe Jerry Jones, as we probably all know, that Jerry Jones was the problem over with Dallas. And so even though it does open up a position for Dallas, man, I don't see Ben Johnson going to Dallas. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If Ben Johnson really is looking to have some strong say into what this front office looks like, especially as it relates to a GM, I think that we could be a very attractive place for Ben Johnson, and you might be able to kind of nix the potential of him going to the Dallas Cowboys. And so, again, guys, this is just kind of my take. And I appreciate you sticking with me. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you do know when I go live and kind of dive deeper in with you guys and chop it up with you guys. But again, Darth Vader M4, you're the winner of my previous giveaway. Make sure you email me at realraider805@gmail.com. And so, guys, if you did miss this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you are included in my next giveaway. It's at 4,500 subscribers. So, again, just my thoughts, just my take. I appreciate you sticking with me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.